Hello, 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 hello. Wherever you are located on our sensational planet Earth, I hope you are having a fantastic day, evening, or night, wherever you're located. This is my channel where I like to talk about comic book characters. Primarily, I read from DC and Marvel. So I talk most about them. I have most experience with them. Plus, DC and Marvel, they've been around the longest. They're like the granddaddies or the grandmother of the comic book industry. Today, I'm going to talk about one of Spider-Man's most popular opponents. And the wonderful thing about him, I think this opponent has been around for about roughly 30 years. And I had that first issue where it appeared. I'm talking about the sensational, the deadly, the elongated, the elastic Venom. Why do I want to talk about Venom? And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, because it is unique. That costume, that Spider-Man got from the Secret War planet, it never, from what I know, and I've been reading comic books for over about 40 years, going on 50, that costume was unique and innovative during its time. Because if I recall in my humble comic book experience, there never was any type of costume that appeared one way that it can transform into another. Never before in comics, especially in the Spider-Man universe, could the costume transform. You all know from watching the Spider-Man movies and etc., when Peter Parker needs to change, or Miles Morales, or whoever it is, Spider-Man, when they need to change the costume, they always got to pull off the shoes, the socks, the shirt, the tie, always, and he had the weapon. And usually in the comic books, he just don't, like in the Spider-Man movies, when he's taking off his shoes and his pants and shirt. In the movies, he just throw them away like as if he was a millionaire. You all know I'm telling the truth. In them movies, like Tom Holland, when he changing the Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, when he taking the Spider-Man, he throwing his clothes on the ground most of the time. In the comic books, Peter Parker took care of his clothes. He wrapped them up and webbed them up on the top of a roof on a special hideout. He webbed his clothes up. He ain't throw them on the ground for somebody to come and take them. But anyway, we're getting back to Venom. Like I said, he's unique because this is the first life form at the time he was hiding as a costume that can change his appearance. Now, I wonder why, when it became full-fledged but he still was doing it. When it became Venom, because when Eddie Brock had the Venom costume on too, he would appear as Eddie Brock, and the Venom costume would appear as regular clothes. So even Flash Thompson, if he still have the Venom outfit on, because it goes from person to person, but they always draw the alien himself, and the alien change to clothing. So he still do the same thing, even whether he's on Peter Parker or not. The Venom outfit, it still has the appearance to alter the way it looked, and that was innovative back in comic book times. I know the Fantastic Four has unstable molecule clothing, but the unstable molecules clothing never transforms from one piece of clothing to another. So that's one thing. He can mimic different outfits. The second reason we love Venom, because when he first appeared as Spider-Man, he was able to make his own webbing. But the webbing, as you know, came from the alien itself. And that was the first time we had a villain that can morph itself. Not just changing the clothing. When he changed the Venom, you see he be changing his arm to spears, to axes, to hammers. He can morph himself to anything, and we rarely have seen an opponent like that. That's why Venom has been able to defeat so many people before, because all he got to do to defeat anyone, Venom can defeat anyone just by jumping right into their mouth. He can stick, you right, see, he can take part of his essence and slide it right into a person's mouth. And then what can Thor do when his mouth, his lungs is full of that alien gunk? What can the Hawk do when Venom jump on him, make his costume morph, and while the Hawk yelling like he used to do, just makes some of that alien substance go right into his mouth and right down into his stomach and right down into his lungs. So, just because of that morphing ability, Venom, or the alien symbiote, is a deadly force to be reckoned with. If you're going to fight the alien symbiote and you don't want him to jump down your mouth where he can suffocate you, then you should fight him with your mouth shut, which most people don't do, because you know in comic books they always like to talk. Heroes and the villain love talking, but in the real world, you would know, if I'm fighting that alien symbiote, keep your mouth shut so it don't enter your mouth, and by doing that, enter your other vital organs. That's the second thing I love about Venom. The third thing we love about Venom, because he can multiply like a fly, like a spider. We have seen it multiply many times. It made the first child that came from, I believe, was Carnage. Then it goes on and on and on and on after that. And then each one of them had their own unique, particular identity. So that's the third thing. It's not unique. It's not special. I mean, each costume is special in its own way, but it can multiply, it can reproduce, and it will keep on living. And I think one time, in some of them Spider-Man books, them alternate realities, it multiplied so much it took over the whole planet. So that's how much it can multiply. But I guess for the most part, it don't feel like taking over regular humans. I know. Eddie Brock, he's a regular human, but the symbiote took advantage of, and what's his name, Flash Thompson, they regular humans. So I guess they will. But the alien symbiote, it prefers a superhuman host because it can do more. Like, it took over Peter Parker because when it joined with Peter Parker and bonded with him, it took on his spider-like abilities. I guess if it didn't bond with Peter Parker, it would just change into clothes and just be a slippery substance. But by bonding with Peter Parker, it acquired vast strength, the ability to climb up walls, but I guess it could always do that. But it definitely has the ability to climb up walls now, and it like to shoot that webbing stuff from its hands. That's by bonding with Spider-Man. I don't think the alien symbiote got a spider sense, but say, hey, it don't need one because the alien symbiote is probably aware it was going around at 360 degrees. But that's a lesser version of a spider sense because you got to still see it. Spider-Man, he can sense the danger even if he can't see it. Even if it's not in his vicinity. Like, for instance, when the Beyonder came to Earth in the 1980s, his spider sense started going crazy. So Spider-Man's spider sense is still superior to Venom, who can see around him at 360 degrees because he gets one of the things that you can't even see or maybe even miles away. All right, so I gave us 3 reasons why we love Venom. And then the other reason, one more reason we love Venom, because, hey, he's not indestructible. He's not. Humans, we love creatures and comic characters who have a weakness. We love Captain America because he's an enchanted human, but you can still shoot him if you get the right way. We love Wolverine because he's so arrogant in his powers that he take his hidden factor for granted, so he like to get shot up. We love Superman too, but mostly we're afraid of Superman because he's so powerful. He can do anything he wants to, but he did got that weakness of kryptonite. So humans, we love our heroes to have a weakness, and villains. Venom weakness, that fire is common. I think he very afraid of fire. The sonic blast, I guess that's a little bit common too, but it's not as common as fire, because you can make a fire of anything. The sonic, you need some type of, like some type of ringing bell or something to make that sonic noise. And that's why we love the Venom comic. So I thank you all for taking a few minutes to share with me reasons why I appreciate the alien symbiote that became Venom. It's unique. It's one of Spider-Man's greatest enemies, and that really hasn't been around that long. Only roughly 30 years. It's so popular that it even had a movie made to it. I never heard Dr. Octopus have the movie of his own. I never heard of the Green Goblin having the movie just of his own. But the Venom symbiote had a movie dedicated just for him. Because I guess he probably is an anti-hero. Sometimes he's evil, sometimes he's not. He's an anti-hero, so you can give them a movie. The Green Goblin, he's a true villain. He's not an anti-hero. Dr. Octopus, for the most part, he's not an anti-hero. So once more, thank you for stopping by to listen about why I appreciate and love the Venom alien symbiote. If you enjoyed this discussion, give me a thumbs up. If you have a comment about why you may love Venom or hate it or whatever, leave a comment. If you'd like to subscribe to hear me talk about future comic book characters that I feel like talking about, subscribe. Until next time, peace.